Well, good morning, afternoon or evening, depending on where you're watching this. Welcome back to Shutters and Speed. Today we're out on a very cool November morning, probably one of the last rides I shall take before we put the old Yamaha into winter hibernation, I would imagine. We've had some pretty poor weather recently. The old wet weather's been a bit bit despondent for us all, but you know, it's a nice day now, and so we're out for a spin. Now, the reason I'm out here today is because I want to test out some new kit. So without further ado, as we say here in Norfolk, we'll run them their titles, boy, and then we'll go into detail about what we're up to today. Yeah, so welcome back to Shutters and Speed. Yeah, this morning we're trying out a bit of a new system here. We've got a new microphone set up, a new camera which is situated on my helmet, and we've also got the 360 camera going as well. Now, the idea is that I can operate the microphone independently from the cameras, and I can therefore then have the cameras anywhere mounted on the bike and sync up the audio later on in post. So there's a new microphone system, and it's the DJI wireless mic, which I've been sort of hankering after for a while and finally made the investment. And I've also invested in a new action camera, which is the one on my lid. It's the Osmo Action 3. Now, the Osmo Action 3 has been superseded recently by the Osmo Action 4, but there's not a huge amount of difference, if any, between the two. And the Osmo Action 3 was available in its adventure kit for a very good price, which is obviously great news. So I decided to buy that as well. So that gives me the opportunity and the ability to film in higher resolutions and higher frame rates. So we're able to go along now. We're currently filming on the helmet camera at 4K at 60 frames a second. So that's my first outing or delve into the 4K world. So we'll see how that pans out as well. But also the microphone system is quite interesting. I mean, the microphone the transmitter only is capable of recording audio in its own right, and that's what's mounted here on the side of my helmet, and that's what I'm recording the audio on. So obviously, if you are watching this now, then everything seems to have turned out okay. So like I said earlier, the idea is that we're gonna have three different camera views today. We're gonna have the one up here, the two views that I'm going to make up from the 360 footage, and we're going to be using the audio from the wireless mic system here. So it'll be very interesting to see how that all pans out. And if it all pans out how I think it will, it should be quite an improvement. What I've found before is that I actually quite like the helmet view at the top there. I've used that before in a video, but the problem I've had in the past, of course, is audio. I would have to run a cable up to it with the old system, which was a little bit, you know, Heath Robinson, it has to be said, and I just didn't think that was the right thing to do. So I've been sort of hankering after a system where I could do that. I mean, I suppose I could have carried on using the camera on the side of the helmet and then just use that audio, but the audio from that was always not quite what I'd hoped for. It was a little bit you know, echoey, crackly and all that kind of thing. And in future videos we may well be able to use the other channel, the other microphone, to record more ambient noise, you know, the engine tones and so forth. So, you know, hopefully everything will come together. But before we decide to put the bike away for winter, I'm taking this opportunity to be out and about to have a look at how the system works. So hopefully everything will be hunky-dory, and we'll have some interesting footage to talk about. Yes, the weather of recent has been extremely damp, it has to be said. I hope you've kept dry and flood-free where you are. We've managed to do that. And you know, it really has been quite depressing, and I did wonder whether I was going to be able to get out at all again this year, as it were. But as it turns out, we've got a reasonable day at the moment, so let's go. Yeah, I haven't been able to do as many videos as I would have liked recently. I've been struck. Work has been quite hectic, but also I was struck down with the dreaded COVID, which curtailed my activities quite a lot, really. So I wasn't able to get out and about. But I do still hopefully have one or two plans for before Christmas. So if you're a keen follower of all the stuff that I do, then obviously keep in touch, because hopefully there'll be one or two videos coming again before Christmas. But we'll see how we go. The other thing I do plan to do is get out on my push bike a bit more this coming winter. Using this system, I shall be using a helmet mounted camera and this DJI wireless mic system, and hopefully we'll be recording a few rides and having a look at a few bits and bobs around the Downham Market area, and hopefully that'll be of interest. Yes, the other thing about this system, as we ride along this beautiful up and down section of road, the other thing of note about the Osmo Action 3 is the way it mounts. So I think what we'll do is let's go back to the studio and we'll have a little chat about that and how everything clicks together. Yeah, so here we are back at Shutters HQ, and here indeed is the DJI wireless microphone system. And if I open the top up here, and everything hopefully will fire up, and then you can see the system inside and how it all works. You've got a receiver and two transmitters there, and that is basically the nuts and bolts of the system. Now, I won't go into too much more detail about that at this time, because there are countless videos on how them things work, so I'm not sure it's worth me going through it. But having said that, if you would like me to do that and give you an in-depth sort of look-see at this system, then leave a note in the comments below, and I will endeavour to do that for you. But suffice it to say that it works very well. You can use the receiver on a camera and the transmitters as you would normally with any other wireless microphone system. But the beauty about this one is the fact that you can record independently on the transmitters without any need for a receiver, and then match the audio up with your footage in post. So that is obviously very convenient, and it makes it so easier to mount several cameras around the motorcycle, or indeed anything else for that matter, and then you can just marry them all together, and it works really well. I can say that now because I've tried it, so obviously that works. But like I said, if you want to see more information about this, then let me know in the comments below. Now, of course, the other thing that we're using for the first time is this Osmo Action camera, which is a recent acquisition of mine, and it's proven to be very good too. And the other good thing about this is the way it mounts on the helmet. I've got the mount strapped on, as it were, or put on, as it were, and as you offer up the camera, it just snaps into place, as simply as that, and it clicks in, and everything is ready to go. And it is very sturdy. I can vouch for that. It stayed on. I mean, I was going along at a fair old lick at times, and it did stay on very nicely and worked very well. And I'm so far quite pleased with how the whole thing works. And again, like the microphone system, if you'd like me to give you a little bit more in-depth information into that, then obviously also let me know in the comments below, as we earlier suggested. So, without further ado, let's get back on the road and see how we get on. Yeah, the one thing that did concern me slightly was the magnetic mount and how that would stand up. I'm assuming the camera's still there, and hopefully it will be in business. I mean, I'm rattling along at a fair rate now, the speed limit. I can't actually feel it on my head in terms of wind, so hopefully everything will be okay. But it's another glorious day to be out on a motorbike. I think what we'll do is we'll just go and have a look at a local church while we're out and about. This is of interest to me, and I'll tell you a bit more about it when we get there, and I'll have a little chat about what's happened there. So join me in a few minutes. Yeah, I'm taking a little jaunt down this bumpy sort of back road. I'm just interested to see what happens with the rock steady system on the old Osmo Action 3, and see how that pans out. The reports that come from people who've used it on YouTube has been good, but there's nothing like trying it out for yourself, so we'll just see how that rock and rolls. Yeah, so here we have Beechamwell Church. Now, as you can see, there's scaffolding up and there is men working on it. Now, this church actually caught fire. The area where the man is working on right now was had the lead removed by some unscrupulous people, and after a while the lead was being replaced, and the man who was doing that was a bit careless with the old stuff they used to melt sealants and so forth, and so the whole church went up in smoke. If I can, I'll try and get hold of some pictures to show you how it looked. But things are coming along quite nicely now, it seems, in the repair process. I mean, all the wood and everything regarding the roof was beyond repair and completely removed, as it were, or burnt away, and the whole thing was a complete and utter disaster. And the fortunate thing is that the village had decided to, well, had insurance, which they paid for. I don't know whether it was a parish council thing or what, but they did have insurance to protect it. So most of the money that is needed to repair the church to its former glory is being funded by that. So that's obviously great news, because this is quite a nice, well, very nice, in fact, Norfolk Breckland country church. So it's I thought it might be of interest on this ride out that we come over and have a look and see what it's like, and see how things are progressing. But like I say, I'll try and find some photographs, and if I've found any, I will put them online on the video, so that you can have a look to see how things went, so to speak, over the last 3 or 4 years or so. My thanks to Jimmy for extending the use of, or allowing me the use of these photographs, and I think they show you a very good story from the fire to the damage and then the rebuild process. Yeah, so as we leave the scene, we're going to go by a truck here that is actually delivering the thatch ready for the roof to be reinstated. So that's obviously great news. So we're here on a sort of quite a decent point in the restoration process. And as we leave, you'll get a bit of a view of or a wonky view, it has to be said, of the church tower as we go by. That had to be rebuilt, and the bells had to be removed and then reinstalled after the tower was made safe. As we ride back out of Beechamwell, back towards King's Lynn, just back there, I hope you enjoyed the autumnal colours there. It's there's always something new to look at each time of year, and I always feel the autumn browns are really quite pleasant. And hey, that little section there was really quite good, I thought. There's obviously been some flooding here. The old road is very damp, but the water looks as though it's receded reasonably well. Looks like I might have to give the old Yamaha a bit of a clean up after all, but we'll see when we get back. Yeah, we just came through one or two sticky little sections there, it has to be said, and that's normally my cue to halt motorcycle proceedings until the springtime. I find that even on a day like today, sometimes you have to be very careful, because under the trees or where tractors have been pulling out of fields, there can be gravel, mud and all sorts of stuff on the road, as it were. which can be quite problematic. So yeah, we're taking it a bit easy today. Yeah, so as we make our way out of Narborough village here, I think we'll call a halt to proceedings here and now. I hope you've enjoyed this video, this brief insight into the DJI mic, and also my new Osmo Action, DJI Osmo Action 3 action camera. If you have, then I would hope that you would like and subscribe. That would be very useful for me, and it will also keep you up to date. I'm hoping to get 1 or 2 videos done before Christmas, so keep in touch for that. So without further ado, this is Shutters and Speed signing off for now, and we'll see you in the next video.